Hey, all right, folks, I'm Scott Klom. I'm coming to you live from my kitchen. Are we live? No, actually, we're not, of course, but doesn't it feel more exciting when I say that? All right, what we're here to talk about today is I want to show you a way, quick and easy way, to set yourself up for the entire week with a week's worth of salads. Take them for lunch, they're convenient, they're easy, they're good for you, and you can do all of this in less than 15 minutes on a Sunday evening, and you'll be good to go for the week. All right, so I actually got a little bit of a head start here. I did all my food prep before we started rolling, and I'll tell you, it took me less than 10 minutes, so that gives us, 5-6 minutes to assemble our salads, keep it under 15 minutes. The first tip I can give you in terms of food prep is to kind of build that into the time you allow yourself for doing your grocery shopping for the week. If you're shopping, if that's the way you shop, if you shop for the week as opposed to, on a daily basis, so that when you get home, you can pull out all of those veggies, you can get everything chopped and prepped for the meals that you're going to make and later in the week, for the salads that you're going to, assemble right after you're done doing your food prep, whatever the case may be. So let's take a look real quick at what we've got here. Okay, we've got some green and red pepper. I've got some cucumber from a neighbor's garden. That was a huge cucumber. We've got the last of the tomatoes from the garden. We've got some carrots here. And then for our protein, if you are vegetarian, vegan, or if you're not, if you do eat some meat, but you just want to mix things up a bit, we've got beans here, right? You can do kidney beans, you can do chickpeas. I like to do some hard-boiled eggs, and here we've got a little bit of chicken breast that I had prepared before. So really, I mean, this is pretty simple what we've got here in terms of my options for assembling these salads, but you know, you go with whatever goodies you like to put on your salad. All right, so the key really to doing this prep is the glass jar, mason jar, okay? If you use pasta sauce, if you use applesauce, if you gosh, I mean, you like have these from pickled beets. I mean, you can get these jars, you save them from just about anything that you pick up at the grocery store. If you don't have them, ask your neighbors, your friends, family, whatever, to save you a couple of these jars. If you're going to be doing 5 salads for the week, you're going to want 5 of these jars. Okay, and this is going to allow us to put, so in a layered fashion, all of the ingredients for our salad, seal it up so that it's sealed tight, and you'd be amazed. You can put these together on a Sunday night, and the salad that you're eating on Friday is still just as fresh, and it doesn't get mushy, doesn't get disgusting. So let's see exactly how it is that we do that. The trick is to put the wet stuff on the bottom and then sort of get progressively drier as you go up to the top, and then we put our greens in at the very top here, okay? So in terms of what I've got here, I'm going to start with some tomatoes, right? We get a nice layer of tomatoes there on the bottom. Then I will usually do my carrots and my peppers. So we're going to do peppers first here, some greens, some red peppers. Give a couple pieces to the floor. Never hurts, right? The messier you are, the more fun you're having. Get those carrots in there. What else do we have here? All right, I'm going to do my cucumbers next. They can get a little bit wet, so maybe you want to do them under the carrots. Experiment, see what works best for you. Sometimes I just, throw this stuff all in here. I'm going to go with some kidney beans for this salad. See how many of those we can actually get in there. I think I had about a cup or so of beans in there. There we go. We got all the beans in there. Got my protein source. And now we're going to put the spinach on. Okay, I like to buy these big clamshell containers of spinach, and I'm going to give you another hint about using these, especially if you buy the big ones, because I'm sure on more than one occasion, like myself, you had to, kind of get rid of, compost, whatever, the remainder of one of these because you just didn't use it fast enough and it got kind of gross and wet. One way to avoid having to do that is to just take a paper towel, fold that puppy up like that, always close up your clamshell with the paper towel, and that just acts as a natural sort of absorbent, right? It's just going to sort of wick the moisture away from your greens and keep stuff fresh that way. So there's a trick for your spinach. All right, back to our jar. And then this stuff is all pre-washed. I'm just taking it and shoving it right in the jar. This particular salad is going to be very heavy on all the extras and kind of light on the spinach. But that's the way it happens sometimes. You can actually I just kind of really jam that spinach in there to make sure I've got enough. So that's something else to think about as you're working with your jars and you get used to what it is that you like to have on your salad. To just kind of make sure you're leaving yourself enough room for the greens or whatever it is that you want. And then you just take that, seal that up nice and tight. And look, you got something that's not only healthy and convenient for you, it's really attractive. I've gotten actually a lot more comments on my lunches and my salads than I ever expected. Just sort of taking this, out of the fridge at the office or whatever, and people always comment on how attractive it is. And when you're eating something that's attractive, you're going to be more likely to want to eat it, right? I mean, it actually reminds me of a story I heard on This American Life with Ira Glass years ago, and it was about he went with his staff and they sat in a diner somewhere in New York City. It's a 24-hour diner, so they spent 24 hours there and they just interviewed customers of this diner, just walking in at all hours of the day and the night. And of course, there were some really interesting stories from patrons who had been coming for years, and they were always there at 4 a.m. in the morning before their shift started or whatever was going on, and that was fascinating. But what really stood out to me from this entire story was the interview with the owner and the information that he shared about the rotating case of desserts. I'm sure if you've walked into a diner, you've seen that case where they've got the carrot cake and the chocolate cake and the bread pudding and rice pudding and all, it's all there. Well, this particular diner had a rotating case of desserts, and one week the motor broke, and apparently, they needed this particular part. They needed a technician who had skills with this particular apparatus, and it was going to take like a week before the thing got fixed. Right? They could keep the desserts there and whatever, and it was on display, but it wasn't rotating. And the owner was flabbergasted and just fascinated by the fact that their sales for their desserts over the course of that week plummeted by something ridiculous, like 75%. Okay, which you just have to wonder, like, what is it about a rotating food product, a rotating piece of, chocolate cake that somebody finds so much more appealing than when it's just sitting there, by itself. But it kind of relates in a way, I think, to the salad, because if you've got something that it looks appealing and that's attractive, right, it's going to be something that you're going to want to eat. So that is my tip. You make 5 of these real quick on a Sunday. You stick them in your fridge, and they're going to last you all week. Enjoy. Get creative. Get some walnuts in there, some goat cheese, some feta cheese, with your grape tomatoes, whatever you like to do. Hope you enjoyed the tip, and I'll see you next time.